Hey there everybody, PTPOP here. All four lobes of my brain securely bound behind my back, and today I'm going to talk about the top 10 personality characteristics for success in a call center. Stay tuned. I have gone over a variety of topics about working in a call center, and today I want to discuss the top 10 personality characteristics that you have to have in place to be truly successful in a call center. And these are things I've seen from my own personal experience, as well as what I've observed from people who have been successful in a call center. And when I say successful, I mean people who come in, they get promoted right away, they end up becoming a manager, they work their way up, they stay there for at least a couple of years. The longest I've stayed in a call center was about 5 years, but that was a small call center. The larger ones I've stayed, I think 4 or 5 years is the longest I've been in a call center. But if you really want to have a successful career in it, you have to have a solid foundation in these 10 characteristics. Number 10, you have to have laser sharp focus. And I say this because you're going to be getting barraged, especially if you're an inbound customer service call center. You're going to be getting barraged by the general public with questions that either aren't well formulated or well thought out, or the customer absolutely positively doesn't know what they're saying or what they want. So you've really got to focus on keywords, and you have to know what to listen for. And if you're the least bit ADD or ADHD and you can't focus for longer than maybe 30 seconds, you're screwed at this job. You will not last. Because the customer will call in and they'll start off with some long, winding diatribe about their dog that was kidnapped by aliens, and they were eating breakfast the next day, and Herman Munster came to them and spoke to them in Latin, and that's why their bill didn't get paid. And you've got to figure out what in the world they're talking about. So you've got to have laser sharp focus to focus on the customer's message, what they want, what exactly they're talking to. And you have to have the ability to also focus on all of your systems, because they're going to make you learn at least 10 brand new computer systems, not including the telephone and the email system. So you're going to have to be able to listen to the customer as well as focus on what you're typing on the computer and what you're looking for in the systems. If you do not have laser type focus, you are not going to succeed in a call center. Number 9, you have to have a mind like a steel trap. You have to be able to quickly understand, learn something, and remember it. If you don't learn things quickly, and it takes you a long time to learn it, you're not going to succeed in a call center, because there's so much information that they throw at you into 2 days to 2 weeks of training to learn 10 to 20 new systems and all their products, that if you do not have a mind like a steel trap, you will absolutely fall on your face. And I know this from personal experience, because it takes me a long time to learn stuff. If you do not remember stuff quickly and you get on the floor, number 1, if you don't have laser sharp focus, you're not going to know what to look at, what to listen for, what to do. If you don't have a mind like a steel trap, you're not going to remember half the things somebody told you in training. And they're not going to let you take any manuals or papers on the floor. So none of your notes are going to be in front of you. You're not going to have a manual in front of you. You'll have an intranet with a company manual, but trying to wade through the highly illogical and non-intuitive intranet that some techno geek came up with in their IT department is going to be useless to you, because it's going to take forever to get through their online manual of all their products and their systems. So if you don't have a good memory, if you don't have laser-like focus, you're screwed. You won't last more than 6 months. Number 8, you have to be highly organized, both mentally and physically. Your desk is not an issue these days, but your computer, you have to know where you've got everything stored. You have to remember all your passwords. There'll be passwords for all the different systems. There'll be passwords for your phone line, for your phone system. You'll have to remember what each system does and how to get into it, what the user IDs and passcodes are for it. You'll have to know where the intranet, the user guide they usually have, as I said in number 9, You'll have to remember how to get into the user guide, how it works, how to bookmark things. You have to know how to bookmark things in your browsers. And it's not easy. I mean, even on the computer, you've got to keep folders. You got to keep your emails organized because you'll be getting emails, internal emails from other employees, supervisors, and directors giving you updates to new product lines, adjustments to old product lines. You'll be getting all kinds of information on a regular basis about updates to procedures, new procedures on the phones, customers to watch out for, customers that call back in constantly trying to get into other people's accounts. So you're going to be constantly barraged with information on a regular basis, and if you're not more organized, it's going to get so confusing. I mean, if you're not focused, if you don't have a mind like a steel trap, if you're not organized, it's going to look like a tornado hits you. You're going to feel like you're in the middle of a hurricane. It's going to be overwhelming. It's going to be detrimental to your performance. You're going to start getting written up. They're going to start asking you, why you're not remembering this stuff. They're going to start talking to you about your performance. Why did you get this information wrong on this call? Within 6 months, they'll be getting ready to get rid of you. Okay. Number 7, you have to be very comfortable with being sedentary, meaning you enjoy being stationary, inactive, and still for large amounts of time. Now, usually the people you'll see in call centers, most people are morbidly obese. And I'm not saying that to be mean, but many, many people that work in these call centers are extremely fat. Oh, there's an appropriate burp. That came out of nowhere. That's my kickstart coming back up on me. But you have to be very happy and enjoy sitting on your rear end for stretches of up to 3.5 hours at a time before you get a break. You cannot move from your seat. You cannot walk down the aisle and talk to anybody. You cannot get up. You cannot move. You are strapped to your seat, figuratively speaking. Literally speaking, you're leashed to your desk by the headphone. You cannot move. So if you enjoy sitting on your butt, talking on the phone all day, you're going to be great. But you have to have laser-sharp focus, a mind like a steel trap, and you have to be highly organized. If you just like to sit on your ass and eat popcorn all day, but you don't match the first 3 characteristics, you won't succeed. Call center work is very dull and monotonous. You'll be sitting for large amounts of time and you're not allowed to go to the bathroom. You're not allowed to talk to anybody around you. They'll come around and I'll tell people, don't stop talking. Customers complain they can hear your side, they call it side chatter, in their headphones. They can hear it in the background. They don't like it. They hear laughing. They think people are having a good time, so be quiet. Number 6, you have to be a masochist. You have to have some enjoyment. You must get some type of enjoyment out of pain. And I think one way to prepare for this job is to go see a dominatrix. Go set up a dominatrix, pay $250 to $500 to have a session with some woman who will beat the crap out of you for a couple hours. And ask her when she's doing this to you to make sure that you don't complain, make sure that you are not allowed to scream, make sure you're not allowed to get anything that you truly want and that she's really harsh with you, because that's exactly what it's like in a call center. You have to have you have to get some enjoyment out of being uncomfortable, being tortured, being demeaned, being put down, being humiliated, because once you're in a call center, you are a slave. You're getting paid, but you are a slave. And you're going to be treated like crap on a constant basis by the supervisors, by your teammates. You'll be treated like crap definitely by the customers, whether they're professional customers or they're the general public. They're going to treat you like you're a simpleton and you're a moron. And you're going to have to get some type of pleasure and enjoyment out of it. Now, this is the mentality you have to have. You have to have masochistic tendencies if you really have no real desire to move up. If you're just basically a worker bee and you have the worker bee mentality, You have to have some masochistic traits in your personality in order to be successful. You have to get some enjoyment out of always being a type B personality, or a worker bee, or a submissive subordinate that enjoys getting the crap kicked out of you on a constant basis. So I would highly recommend, man or woman, go see a dominatrix, set up a 1 to 2 hour session, and then you'll find out what it's like to work in a call center. Now, number 5, if you are a type A personality and your dream in your life is to be a supervisor and a manager in the corporate world, you have to have these next 5 characteristics in your personality. Number 5, you have to be a sadist. You have to have some type of sadistic qualities to your personality. You must enjoy seeing people suffer. You must be twisted and deranged in such a way that when you were a child, you enjoyed pulling the wings off of flies. Maybe you enjoyed taking the legs off a spider. You were a weird, twisted, demented little child that enjoyed seeing things or people suffer. You were a bully in high school or junior high school. You enjoyed putting down the nerdy kids. You have to have some type of sick, twisted pleasure in seeing others suffer. Number 4, which is linked to number 5, you have to have some type of antisocial personality characteristics. Antisocial is imperative. When I say that, antisocial, I mean you really don't enjoy the company of others. You're not somebody who's the life of the party. You have to be kind of detached from society in such a way you really don't care about socializing with a guy to either side of you. You don't really want to go to the team meetings, because when you become a supervisor, you're going to have to be detached from all that stuff. You're going to have to put on a facade, a phony face showing that you're enjoying yourself being sociable, but in the back of your mind, you'd really rather being at home reading a book. So you can't really have a large group of friends to be a supervisor in a call center. You really can't have much of a social life in a call center. So if you don't have much of a social life, no family, no friends, you've just got a dog and a cat at home, and you watch, like old reruns of MASH at night, you're a shoo-in for a call center and becoming a supervisor. Now, number 3, you've got to have connections on the inside. You've got to know somebody in the call center you're going to go work for before you work there, because if you want to move up, you have to have an inside connection. I have seen this so many times. And you'll recognize it right away when you get into training. When you get into training, there'll always be 4 or 5 people in your training class that already know somebody that works there. And the person that they know will come into training and say, "Hey, Sally Schmally, how are you? I'm so glad you made it training. You're going to love working here. They're going to seat you right next to me, so no problems at all. You're going to do great here." And you're sitting there like, what? They know somebody, and you'll see that person that knows somebody on the inside will start to move up right away. They'll be off the phones. All of a sudden, they'll be in quality assurance. They'll be listening to your calls. They'll be there within 90 days. They'll be off the phones. They'll be an assistant manager, or they'll be in quality assurance, or they'll move them into marketing. They fast track them. So if you know somebody on the inside who's well connected with upper management, you're going to get fast tracked. So if you want to move up, you got to be a sadist. You got to be antisocial, little social life, no family. You must know something inside. Number 2, to be successful either as a manager or the worker bee, you have to have a deep-seated extreme desperation within your life. You have to have a great deal of desperation in your life. I have seen this so many times with people who are successful. I knew somebody who got very ill in their life, and they couldn't find work because they were moderately disabled. Mentally, they weren't disabled, but physically, they're partially disabled. And this person, was losing his marbles because he couldn't find work. And he got this job in a call center. He worked there for 10 years. I'm pretty sure he worked there for a long time. He's not doing anything any longer. But you have to have a great deal of desperation, either due to an illness, or family situation. A lot of single mothers and single fathers work at these jobs, but a lot of single mothers who are desperately trying to make ends meet because they've got kids and they want to see their kids have a good life. But that desperation drives them. So you're going to meet a lot of people in call centers who are extremely desperate, who will do anything to make sure that they're successful, the bills get paid, and the kids get raised well. Number one, this is what I think is imperative, especially if you want to be successful as a supervisor. You have to have sociopathic and sociopathic tendencies and some psychopathy in your personality. I think sociopathy is a primary ingredient for success in a call center. Now, people who are sociopathic, now these are some of the characteristics of sociopathy based off of Psychology Today. Superficial charm and good intelligence. Somebody that laughs at your jokes, for instance, but you know they don't think you're funny, but they're laughing anyway, one of those phony laughs. Unreliability, untruthfulness, insincerity. You have lack of remorse and shame. Inadequately motivated antisocial behavior. Poor judgment, failure to learn by experience. Pathologic egocentricity and incapacity for love. Unresponsiveness in general interpersonal relations. Fantastic and uninviting behavior with alcohol and sometimes without. Sex life is impersonal, trivial, and poorly integrated. Failure to follow a life plan. Now, sociopathy, I think, is imperative because most sociopaths are very detached from what's going on around them. They're not emotionally invested in the environment that they're in. Psychopathy, or being a psychopath, or having psychopathic tendencies in your personality. I don't know if there's tendencies, but a psychopath, based off of this definition, which is a psychopath is a personality characteristic which manifests as amoral and antisocial behavior, lack of ability to love or establish meaningful personal relationships, extreme egocentricity, failure to learn from experiences, etc. Now, I've seen other definitions where it says the person's extremely charming and manipulative. They like to use people, which kind of blurs the lines between sociopath and psychopath. But in order to be a type A person who wants to get up in the world, who wants to advance, who wants to get put on the fast track, you have to have a lot of narcissistic, egocentric behaviors that want you to get ahead, and you're willing to walk over anybody and use anybody you can to get what you want. Now, most of us think of psychopaths as like a knife-wielding wacko. Psychopathy can come through in a variety of ways. It doesn't mean you're a murderer or you're a rapist or something. But primarily it's somebody who's very detached, emotionally detached, not necessarily from reality, but from how traditional, normal people would respond. So, there you have it. There's the top 10 characteristics, personality characteristics for success in a call center. And this is not meant to be humorous. This is what I've seen. I've seen a lot of people who get ahead, have all of these characteristics. A lot of people who are successful in the call center are built and wired like this. If you're not like this, if you're the type of person who is, you cry at kittens when a kitten is born, you're the type of person that feels bad for the starving children in the continent of Africa. If you're the person who, feels bad for the person that calls in and says their mother just died and they just want to get into her bank account, and you get all choked up hearing that she died of breast cancer, and you're not aware that they're just trying to manipulate you to get into their mother's account, you should not work in a call center. If you're the least bit attached to your friends and your family and your children, I wouldn't work in a call center because you'll probably never see them much again. You'll be working all the weekends. You'll be working when they have time off. You'll never have holidays to yourself again. You'll never have Christmas again. You'll never be home for Easter. You won't be home for Thanksgiving. You'll miss you'll miss your children growing up because when they're home from school, you'll be at work at some godforsaken call center. If you have any emotional ties to the world, your family, your friends, to the people you're talking to on the phone, you're not meant to be in a call center. If you want to get into customer service because you care about people, you're not meant to be in a call center. You're not meant to be in customer service. It's absolutely, positively, 100% not about caring about people. It's about getting through the calls and getting on to the next person as fast as you can, because you're costing the company money and you can't care about the people you're talking to. You can't care about the guy sitting next to you on your left or your right. It absolutely makes no difference in the corporate world or at any call center. So there you have it. If you like my videos and you want to support my channel, please go to teespring.com and buy my t-shirt, Call Center Survivor. Give me the thumbs up, subscribe, tell your call center survivor friends about this, and I hope you have a great day. Thanks. Bye.